step on the scene, hear them hoochies screaming, fiending for money and alcohol, the life of the West Side, playing where cowards die, and it's all ball.
Bro, what the fuck you talking about?
Pardon me. Petty, hard, away.
What the fuck?
What the fuck are we talking about? The show about what the fuck?
What the fuck?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is What the Fuck Are We Talking About? And I am the man with his dick in his hand, the dude with no lube, and the buck who likes to fuck. A-Rah.
The host with the most Facebook posts. The adult male, fresh out on bail. Straight out of jail, California dreaming. When I step on the scene, hear them hoochies screaming, fiending for money and alcohol, the life of the West Side, playing where cowards die, and it's all ball.
Bro, what the fuck you talking about?
Pardon me. Petty, hard, away.
What the fuck?
What the fuck are we talking about? The show about what the fuck?
What the fuck?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is
Checketh.
What
Microphone checketh. Check.
are we talking about?
Check me out.
And I am the man with his dick in his hand,
Slow fadey.
the dude with no lube, and the buck who likes to fuck.
Feel that fade.
A-Rah.
The
You feel
host
slowly coming into you?
with the most
You should. How does it feel? We're
Facebook posts.
taking our time and
The
slowly
adult male,
penetrating your eyeballs. I
fresh
can't even
out
feel
on
it.
bail.
That's not good. Not good. It's not a good sign.
California
Not a good sign.
dreaming.
I thought it was a good sign.
It's not a good sign. We are back after a few-week hiatus. Last
We are
week
back
vacation.
like cooked crack.
The
As
week
Joel
before that,
Santana used to
a
say.
man had to get waxed, so
A man did get waxed.
so we had to miss for that. But here we are, episode 105.
With the jive,
No turkey.
we don't have any turkey.
WTF are we talking about? Find us on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook under my real name, Aaron DeLong, and he uses a fake name, maybe Petty
It is my
Hardaway.
real name.
It's his real name. You can change. You can do shit like that.
You are.
Chad Johnson. Well, Chad Ochocinco used to be Chad Johnson,
He did.
which it might be something he might regret now in life, or maybe he's just all in, doesn't give a fuck.
You don't even need
But
a
either way,
gender on your
it's my
license
real name.
anymore. So,
So there you go.
I mean, what's the next step?
I mean,
you don't need your real name.
McLovin.
Yeah.
It's just one word.
Yeah.
It's like Sting.
Who are you to tell me who I am?
Yeah, fuck you. I can name myself anything I want. My parents didn't know shit back then.
No. They were all racist slave owners.
I don't think they owned slaves, and my parents weren't racist and aren't.
No?
It's good. No,
I don't like them then.
nope, not at all.
I prefer it if they were.
They aren't. Sorry. God damn. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to disappoint, but sorry. You know, it's okay.
It is disappointing.
It is.
But we have a treat for you guys also.
We sure do. We can go right into that.
We can go right into it. We have a new part two.
Yes, installment.
A new installment
Yes.
to our installment.
Of a show that we have,
Whatever you want to call this thing.
yes, been working on. This is a preview for a show that's never going to come out. All you're ever going to get is previews.
It is coming out on the UPN.
Yeah, that's right. On the WB. Anyway, blacks love birds.
Part deux.
Part deux.
Oh shit. Oh no. Okay.
Oh shit. Oh no. Okay.
Wait, I'll get the volume up. Sorry, I forgot how to do everything in 2 weeks. Why is it all weird? There we go. I love ducks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm fucking up today.
So if you guys got to see it, cool. We're gonna try to figure out if you actually were able to see it or not. I'm trying to get caught up on it, but we'll get it cut to you and back out.
I don't know if it's working or not.
Yeah, we're having problems with the internet, I think, right now. That's our biggest issue. But we're gonna press on. It's all right.
Press on.
Like some fucking nails, yo.
Bars. Yeah.
That's it.
That's the only bar you got.
If I was a rapper, that's how I'd end every one of my verses.
You'd be MC Bars.
That's it.
MC Bars, that's it.
That's it. As soon as I was done with whatever verse I'm doing, that's how I end it. That's it.
It's mad calm.
That's it. Hell yeah, even if I'm going like, I don't give a fuck. That's it. Just like every time. That's how I would end everything.
That's how you should do it.
I really should. I feel like I probably could go somewhere.
You could.
Just off the ending. No one even gives a fuck about what I said. As long as at the end of it I go. That's it.
That's all I had to say about that.
That's it. Cool.
Let's try this again.
See if we can get this going.
Why is it just automatically going? No.
Are you able to like play it and like revert? Like I don't know. It's weird. You should have like a play and stop and go. You should be able to go back on it.
No, you don't have that here.
That's nonsense. It's a poor design.
It is,
You know.
but I didn't make the software.
True. I know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how to do that shit. I'd make it a lot better though. But then again, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So I don't know.
It just keeps going. Hold up. Let me stop the loop. Show
Restart playback when source becomes
close
active.
File when inactive. Yes. Let's try it now. Let's see what goes on. I'm gonna take a risk here. Nope. It's still like weird.
I don't know. I think there's something wrong with the internet, guys. So hopefully we're still seeing us. I'm still getting sound and everything and video on there, so I think we're good. We're just not getting the video on it right now with this. So yeah, fucking internet.
This is the problem
It's the
with live
5G.
streaming.
It's the 5G.
It is. Now we all have cancer.
That's what it is. We now have cancer, and that's the problem.
And coronavirus.
At the same time,
We all test positive.
corona cancer.
That's the next shit.
Corona cancer virus.
It is. I need to block the T so they can't tell that we're missing a T.
There you go.
There we go.
About.
About. We are. He is
What the fuck are we
Canadian.
talking about?
He is Canadian.
What the fuck are we talking about? So I was in upstate New York, and there was a couple Canadians there.
Yeah. Did you murder them?
I did not.
Why not?
I couldn't pick them out. I just saw the license plate that said Quebec, and I was like, okay.
Frenchies.
They were. I didn't see them though. Couldn't sniff them out. There's a lot of white people, so they all.
Don't they just smell like a toast?
Nah, so it was a small town, and there's some bakeries. So like the town, legit in the morning smelled sexy. Is the only way I can describe it.
Yeah.
It was like coffee, because there's a lot of coffee shops, and it was all great coffee, and the bakeries, and like some of the restaurants that were starting their stuff in the morning. So as soon as I wake up, either we'd smell the fire that we had lit the night before.
Wake up, bake up, wake and bake.
Sure, for show. But yeah, it smelled amazing. So no, I couldn't sniff the Frenchies out. All I could smell is pastry anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that's the same thing.
Yeah. So.
But it probably
cool.
had nothing to do with the pastries. It was just the French.
It might have just been the French people.
Right.
That's what I smelled. Yeah, that makes sense. But no, it was cool, man. Like I said, you should have came up. It was great. We were out in the boat all day, and we drove by some fucking houses that were a couple $1 million, and like we're on the Fulton Chain Lakes. It's 4 big lakes. And there's these little islands that we would drive by as kids. And, like, when we were kids, we'd drive by them. My grandfather was like, nah, we're on a time limit, this and that. So he passed, and, like, I felt like it was my obligation to keep the tradition going as a family, right? But I'm going to do it my way. So, like, the kids want to stop.
My
So
way.
I'm like, guess what? We're not getting one boat and sharing it for half the day. We're going to get 2 boats, and we're going to go out in the lake all fucking day.
Yeah.
So we would drive down to the lakes, we'd see a fucking island, we'd pull up next to it and see what's on it. Dude, some of these islands out there are
There's
abandoned.
Like a guy on there.
So we found the one island, and it had a mailbox. That's all that was left was a mailbox, intact. And when you opened it, there was a bunch of notes in there, and people, I guess, like would drive through or would
and
boat
leave a note.
and leave a note. So we left a note. So we'll see if
fire.
it's there next year.
Was it
Maybe
a
someone
ransom
comes.
note?
Nah, we wrote just some shit like we're here on vacation, whatnot, and my mom wrote it out or whatever, or someone in the family, or they wrote it out, and then I wrote some shit on the back of it that was kind of fucked up. I don't remember what it was, but we were getting
was
fucked
like,
up
yo.
on the boat. But either way,
Do you practice Judaism? If so,
this
off
will
my-
self-destruct in 5 seconds.
off my island.
But it was kind of
if so, get out.
You leave. But it was kind of creepy when you're driving by
It was
a boat
Epstein Island.
and seeing a
That's
little.
what he
It
was.
was very small. But no, there was another island that had 2 like little.
And you did bring children for sacrifice.
We had them just in case. And we always bring. That's why we have kids. You never know.
You never know.
You
when
never
you go to
know.
an Island.
You never know.
You just gotta drop 'em
Human
off.
sacrifice might come in handy.
Right.
Kids. Just kidding. Love you guys.
You can have more. Is what I'm saying. They're recyclable.
They're not recyclable. Like once they're gone, they're gone. That'd be
Yeah,
tragic.
that one.
Yeah, but I
You get another one. though.
theoretically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, now that we're done talking about child sacrifice, I lost my train of thought because of that. Oh yeah, these islands, right?
Letters.
So we get to another island, and it's 2 small, like I don't even want to say houses. They're like fucking. They look like garages almost. They were like this size room. All right. But it was like a house, a little house, and we couldn't see into it because the one kind of collapsed. But there was a little fucking makeshift bridge to another one that was still intact, but they were empty. And then as you got further down, we seen houses on islands, like legit big houses, like
Yeah.
huge, with no electricity running to them, nothing. So everything has to be running off of generators, and everything has to be self-sustained on the island. But it's crazy to think about that. You would have like a vacation home, and you would purposely burden yourself
Yeah.
to be on a boat.
Uh-huh.
Like you would have to legit, let's say, oh, we need something from the store. Great. Let me get in the boat, start it. Let's drive it into the lake, get into the car, and then drive into town, and then have to transport that on a boat into the house.
I
How
think
fucking ridiculous is
I think the
that?
point of those houses is like to not go to the store.
Right. I get it. I get it. And to not maybe get around.
Yeah. Like
But-
just be there.
So if you're gonna have a house like that, you would build like a small, like simple home. Dude, these fucking houses were bigger than this house.
Yeah.
Way, like not even bigger, way bigger. The one house that we saw on the island, no joke, was like probably this house with another one stacked up on top of it. It was fucking massive.
Huh.
It was big from the boat, and then we got close to the island. I'm like, I don't even want to get off because if these people are here, they're going to shoot us because this seems like people that would have something like that. Like, I was just sketched out about it, man. Like, as cool as it looked, I thought about, like, a big-ass fucking house like that.
Did you go, ahoy, matey?
No. And here's the other odd thing.
You should just start talking
And I
like
just
that.
thought about this now. I don't know why I didn't say this when I was on the boat because I was with my whole family.
Storm it.
There was a
Storm the beaches.
driveway on the little fucking island. And there was a car in the driveway.
You just like go up to it.
No. How the fuck did it get on there?
Oh, how do they bring the car there?
It's on an island.
Yeah.
How did it? I mean, obviously
it's
a
a
boat,
car.
but I didn't see a barge that brought it. What good is a car on an island? It's fucking pointless.
I don't know. What kind of car?
Like a Chevy Spark, like a little fucking car.
Like a little piece of shit?
Yeah, not a little piece of shit, but like one of those little electric cars.
Yeah. That's weird.
Fucking super weird. It doesn't make any sense.
Huh.
So it was odd. So I don't know, man. But it was cool. But it was kind of trippy. But when we were kids, we would always go through these lakes, and we never had time to explore. So like I made that a thing. So man, we drove around the lake. We found a church on the lake. Now you know me, I'm not religious at all. But it was fucking cool to see a church on like almost like cliffside. It was like on the side of a cliff almost.
Right.
Overlooking the lake. Like, that's pretty fucking dope. Like a bright white
shit.
church. There you go.
We sound distorted.
Yeah, we sure do. I'm gonna move the mic away a little bit, or just turn the volume down on it. But it was fucking cool, man. Yo, I sound nuts. Why is nobody helping us out and commenting? Y'all could have fucking said something. There was like 3 people watching at one point, and nobody said shit. Oh, we're still talking about the child sacrifice.
Yeah.
We're way far behind. The lag is bad, man. Sounds a little better. But yeah, so we boat through, man, and we get to the end, and there's this town called Inlet. And when you get to Inlet,
Did they let you in?
they let us in. My
They
first
let you in the inlet.
my first, like, I was skeptical because I'm like, all right, if they're saying it's Inlet, I don't think they're going to let us in. They're not going to name it that and be like, everybody come in. But they
Right.
really did. But they had a baseball field right on the edge of the lake.
Mad
So
Max, so.
if you're playing a game, you're on the edge of the lake. Like, and I thought about that. Like,
you ever
and
play the most dangerous game?
No. Russian roulette?
No.
Oh, I lost.
You never
once.
read that book?
No.
The most dangerous game?
No.
It's where you they're on an island and they hunt humans.
Oh. Okay.
They like bring you into the island like dinner for schmucks.
Right.
And then they're like, "Hey, we're going to hunt you
It's
guys."
like that, but not funny, and they'll kill you.
Yeah, right.
Okay, yeah. It sounds like a good. I would watch that in a movie. I don't like read books like that. Like, I like to read. You know what I like to read? Autobiographies.
Yeah.
I like when people talk about their life, and that interests me. That intrigues me.
I'm reading one of those.
About who?
Hitler.
Okay. I mean, come on. Don't. How is it?
I'm not too far in yet.
Wow. All right. Hitler's autobiography.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
you know, since I'm German,
Right.
I'm just like, why haven't I read this?
Right.
Well, not just because I'm German, just because it was one of like a part of a world war
Yeah.
that was well documented.
Yeah.
And you're like, why have I not read this for myself?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just got it and I'm just reading it.
Okay. Cool. I mean, I'm reading one about like a wrestler.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, yeah. It's all right. I have a couple though. Like Matt put me on to the audiobook thing. Like, I like to actually read, but he'll do audiobook. And he was saying that like you get some books for free and the authors of the books will read them. So if you're getting an autobiography, like Jim Ross is a commentator for wrestling.
Yeah, I
he's
know
made
that guy.
he made a couple of books. So Matt got his new book and he reads the book. So that's pretty cool. Like, Matt has a 30-minute ride to work, 30-minute ride home, and he can wear headphones while he works. So that's pretty dope to be able to listen to a book
Yeah. That's
You
what
know,
that's
while
what
you
I've been
work.
doing like every day for like 4
Yeah.
years.
Like I wish like my jobs aren't like that. I have to be able to talk to people. I can't wear headphones. If I could, that's something I would do. I would totally listen to audiobooks. Like I think that'd be great. I work in Wilkes-Barre now on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I drive an hour, hour and a half each way.
Do you?
Maybe that's something I should do is start doing an audiobook. I just listen to a lot of podcasts anyway.
Yeah.
But maybe I should do an audiobook. That's not a bad idea.
I can send you shit to listen to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to listen to what you listen to. Dude, the only podcasts I listen to are like wrestling or MMA.
Yeah.
If it's a UFC podcast or a wrestling podcast, I probably listen to it. That's it. That's all I listen to.
I got a lot of
And it's because I don't watch
interesting
it.
things.
I bet. I don't care enough. I don't care about any of that shit. I'm just I'm good. I'm good. I used to like I think it was Neil Tyson DeGrasse or whatever his name is.
He's a liar.
He used to have a podcast that I used to listen to a little bit. I listened to like 2 or 3 episodes, and I tried to listen to Joe Rogan's, and I just can't. I don't know why.
I stopped listening to him a while ago.
I think my thing with him is that I'm a UFC fan, and that's where I know him from. Like I knew
Right.
him from that, and he's that dude from Fear Factor, right? Oh, okay, I know who he is. That's all I knew him from. Like until maybe the past 5 or 6 years when I realized that he was like a weed activist, and he has a lot of the same interests I have, but I just can't see him as anything other than an MMA commentator.
Yeah.
So when he talks about politics, which is mostly what he talks about on his shows now, it
Now,
wasn't
yeah.
always that. It wasn't
No.
always that.
No.
But every fucking episode is now about politics.
I know.
And it's fucking annoying. And what I don't want to hear is somebody who's not a politician. I'm sorry. And maybe you know a little bit about politics, but you aren't adverse enough to be giving advice on it. Opinions are one thing, but he comes off as somebody who's
Well, he's
telling,
like an
you know?
advocate for shit.
Yes.
Is the
Yeah,
thing.
that's exactly. Yes. Yeah. And you're pushing something on somebody, and that's not an opinion when you're an advocate for something. Having an opinion and saying like, "Oh, I like coffee." But going on there and saying Wawa is the only coffee you should fucking drink. It's
Right.
the only coffee and it's the best coffee. You know, I don't want that shit.
Oh, we sound way better now.
Yeah, there you go.
Good.
Good.
Some of the dials probably got fucked up from when I transported it.
This is a good idea though.
But yeah, I stopped watching Rogan probably like a year or so ago.
Yeah.
And I tune in for like depending on who's on.
Yeah. Yep.
But I used to watch like everyone.
Yeah.
A couple years ago.
Yep. I don't even watch podcasts anymore. I'll rewatch ours sometimes on Facebook just to see
All
how
my
we
favorite
look.
people on YouTube and stuff like they got banned from
Yeah.
YouTube. So I'm dead serious.
All the hate mongers I used to watch don't have shows anymore.
They're not even
you know?
hate mongers. They don't hate anybody.
I'm just fucking with you.
They just
Yeah.
like say shit like they say shit like me and you would be banned.
Oh, for sure. I'm shocked.
If we had enough
some,
views.
some of the things that we've said on our show, I'm seriously shocked that playing Prince for 2 minutes or as long as we did got us our feed cut.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about like we just talked about child sacrifice in the beginning of the fucking show.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's cool.
I mean, you got to.
It'd be like that.
But yeah. But the people I like to listen to like just say they don't give a fuck about shit and they say things
Yeah.
and then they get banned for it.
Yep.
So if we had a couple tens of thousands of views, we'd probably be banned by YouTube too.
At some point, yeah, I'm sure.
It'd be like your jokes are insensitive and it hurt our butts.
Yeah. That's what I've tried to start doing is writing down some of the fucking funny shit I think of. Like if I think of a joke. That was something I saw on that documentary I was telling you about. That Gary Shandling, anytime he thought of a joke, he'd write it down. He had all these notes of these funny fucking things he'd think of just randomly, and then he'd use that to put a set together. And I mean, if
Yeah.
you think about it, like as a comedian, if you're going out there and you have pages and pages of shit, you can literally do a different set all over the
Oh,
place.
for
and
sure.
switch up your acts so
That's
good.
what I used to
like-
do for songs. Like I just used to be working all day every day and thinking about lines, and I would write a line
Yeah.
down, and I would just have like pages and pages of like one
Yep.
lines, 2 lines,
Yep.
and then when I actually go to write a verse or a hook or something, I reference
Yeah,
my
hell
lines.
yeah. You're like you can't think of a line, or you're kind of stuck in a song. You're like, oh shit, and then takes off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that's something that dude, because we got something. Like we do. We have something, and we've been doing it for 2 years now. That we gotta. There's something here, and we're funny. But we have to like figure out a way to share it with other people in some way. And I want to do it so bad. Like
I know.
I've been really ramping up on like just like writing stuff, like writing skit ideas and fucking joke ideas. And
Right.
like when I said to you, you're playing The Young and the Restless, it made me think of at work we hear songs. And when the song comes on, because I hear the same, 20, 30 songs all the time, I'll sing the song but in reverse. So like Elton John's Still Standing came on, right? So the opposite of Still Standing, right, is Not Sitting, right?
Oh, okay.
What's not sitting? Standing.
Right.
The fucking opposite of Still Standing is standing.
Huh?
What's the opposite of Still Standing?
Still standing. I'm still standing.
Would be not.
I'm not still standing.
The opposite of still, I guess, is not, right?
Moving.
So not sitting.
Sitting, moving.
Not sitting. The opposite of still standing is not sitting.
Well, complete, yeah. I get
And
what you
not
mean.
sitting is standing. It's fucking nuts. It blew my mind. It blew my fucking, like the day that I sung it, and the dude I'm working with was like, yo, not sitting is standing still. I'm like, so still standing. The opposite of that's not sitting and it's standing still. That's fucking nuts. What? I don't know why I was bugging out. But it made me think of that, like how funny that would be if we did shows and we did the opposite of it. It's like how you said, The Young and the Restless,
Uh-huh.
the old and the tired. And then I thought Friends, how funny the intro of Friends would be.
Enemies.
Enemies. And they'd be at the fountain and they're like fucking punching each other and someone's trying to drown
I'll
somebody.
be there for you.
That would be so good.
That would be
It'd be
funny.
fucking, this was all, I thought about all these ideas and I have them written down while I was on vacation, just trying to fucking relax. And I'm sitting by the fire, I'm getting fucked up. And I'm just thinking of these ideas.
Right.
And I thought of the shows to do it with and some songs that like just, dude, we got something. And there's nothing out there like that.
No.
There's nothing. There's no good sketch comedy. Kay and Peele
There
was the
isn't.
last stuff, and you know what? I didn't at first. I'm like, I don't even know these fucking guys. I don't like them, and now they're great. It sucks because if they were like if Kay and Peele never happened then and came out now, they'd be the biggest fucking thing out
I didn't
right
like
now.
them when they first came out.
Neither did I.
Yeah.
Now,
Some of their stuff is all right, though.
some of the stuff is fucking really good. Some of
Yeah.
it's super corny,
Right.
but some of it's really more of it's good than bad.
yeah. And they gave shout-outs to Allentown in that
Did they
movie.
really?
You didn't watch that movie? What they did about the cat?
No, I didn't
Lost
see that
Cat?
shit. Nah,
What the hell was it called?
Keanu or something.
Yeah, Keanu.
Yeah.
Yeah, they played. Their characters are gangsters from Allentown.
PA.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, and Method Man's in there,
Get the fuck
and he was
outta
like,
here.
"Oh, I know who you are. Y'all them dudes from Allentown, huh? Yeah, we're the dudes from Allentown.
Yo, that's cool. I didn't fucking know
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
great.
So-
all right, now I'm gonna watch it.
They have a place in
There
my
you go.
heart for that.
All right.
forever.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. That's super dope, actually.
So it's funny.
Yeah.
That movie's pretty funny.
But yeah, there's no good sketch comedy out right now. And
no, it's all like independent dudes doing Instagram videos.
and some of the better shows over the past few years. Dave Chappelle's show is one of the best shows to come out in the past 20 years.
Yeah,
It's a sketch comedy show. Some of the funnier ones, like I used to like Whose Line Is It Anyway?
yeah.
That was a good show. It wasn't sketch comedy, but it was like
It was
improv
improv,
comedy.
yeah.
It was still some type of comedy show. There's like I don't. You watching Practical Jokers? I don't.
Yeah,
Is it any
I
good?
love it.
Is it good?
It's hilarious.
Okay. All right. So if you think it's funny, I trust your humor judgment. So it's got to be good.
It's one of the best shows ever.
Okay. There you go. And it's a comedy
And
show,
They don't give a fuck.
and we don't give a fuck, dude. Like probably more than them.
If you watch it,
Actually,
yeah,
I
more
give a
than
fuck
them.
a lot.
More than
You
them.
don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck.
I give lots of fucks.
Yeah.
You give none.
No fucks.
None.
I could give less fucks.
Yeah.
But
Actually, yeah. You're negative fucks.
I could get worse.
0 fucks
This
is
is-
putting it light.
Me, my natural state is not too many fucks. But I'm still like I still feel like I hold back a little bit. I could get worse. But But if you watch their shit, it's on TV. Some of the shit that they say, you'd be like, oh, they did that on TV? Because they don't hold back.
cool.
They do like black jokes and shit like that
Alright.
because they try to like make each other laugh in their missions or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
Their challenges.
Yeah.
And then what the fuck is the one shit that made me crack up so bad? I don't know. They did some Santa thing where he dressed up as Santa and some black dude came in, or he was dressed as Santa, or he was I'm not doing it no justice. But they do black jokes on TV during this time, and
Good.
it's
should
like
be able to.
forbidden now.
As long as it's not like, dude, that line has been blurred. There used to be a line where you could make a joke about a different race and not have it be a racist joke. Like, I'm completely content with white jokes. In fact, I probably make fun of more white people than anybody else.
Right.
And I think that's how it should
Are we
be.
frozen?
Nope.
not-
Sometimes the screen freezes on, but I think it's just
We're not moving. I don't
But
know. Who knows?
But yeah, I think we should be able to do that. We've gotten hypersensitive. I think we know that. I mean, I'm at least self-aware and understand that. Me, even sometimes, I'm a little too sensitive on certain things, and you have to kind of. But we've been desensitized to kind of feel like that
Not me.
for certain things, And again, I'm not insensitive to other people
go in
feeling,
reverse.
but it's too fucking touchy.
Whenever people
And we're getting to a point where some people are like, well, let's just not talk about it at all. Like, oh, that's cool. So anything that offends us at any time, we just don't talk about it?
Yeah.
Like, no. Like, we can't.
I just go all the way then.
I know you do. I know.
Once
But to be
once they
fair,
do that-
most people don't. At least I don't see it. I mean, on our show, I don't see a lot of people give you negative feedback for the way you talk or the way you act because one,
No,
they
they
know
don't.
it's lighthearted, and two, they understand you're not saying it in a mean-spirited way.
Right.
You're not. Like, we're not. We're not mean-spirited in anything we do.
Yeah.
Even something like Blacks Love Birds, there are probably some people look at that like, oh my God, that's so stereotypical.
People think it's hilarious.
As they should, because two of our black friends did the fucking show with us. Hello. We didn't make them do
That makes
it.
you more racist.
They were like, oh, this is a great idea. Devin was the one that was like, I'm going to go up there and like, that was
do it.
him. That was him. We weren't like, and go. He was like, all right, I'm going to feed fucking birds. And he just did it.
No, but then we do Whites Love Lawns.
Because they love lawns. And exactly. We make fun of white people. And they say hi to all their fucking neighbors that walk
Yeah.
by. I didn't.
do it.
I did.
That's the thing. When you make fun of things, you have to make fun of everybody.
Exactly.
You can't hold back. Like,
Yeah.
you can't be like, oh, we can't make fun of them. Why?
Yeah, exactly. Me and Wamsley, it's funny because we used to say this when we were like 14 and 15. Like when we would meet people, we were like, we're not racist. We hate everybody.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's a great way to put it.
Everybody
We
sucks.
all equally are shitty.
Yeah.
We are. There's nothing wrong with that.
Don't be like, oh, no, we're less shitty. Huh?
How? No. We're all shitty. We're humans. We all suck.
You want to go through the history books?
Yeah, for real.
Pretty sure I could find
All
some
of
shit.
us have done some really bad shit.
Yeah, so-
and sure, some have done more bad than others,
So
but
get over
we're all shitty. Exactly. That's what it is. Get over yourself. We're all shitty. Let's move forward and not be dicks. That's just pretty easily put.
People ain't with it, though.
But we won't. We won't move forward, and we won't stop being dicks
Nope. Well, go backwards
and continue to be dicks.
until everybody just acts like me.
No.
It won't. It won't go anywhere.
We just put too much emphasis on things that, frankly, don't matter. They really don't.
Yeah.
Like color and religion don't. It's just what you practice. Like a Jewish person.
It matters.
If they were like, you know what? I'm not Jewish. I don't practice Judaism, and I denounce it. Guess what? They're still Jewish somehow. That's like, I've always said it's a weird thing. Like Judaism,
It is.
being Jewish is almost like a race.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
But it's really just a religious following. And I know Jewish people that are like, yeah, I don't follow Judaism. It's fucking stupid.
And then you're like, okay, well then how are you a Jew?
because they're just Jewish. They just are, and
It's because of in-group preference, and then they they still get together with another person who's Jewish.
I know, it's
and then
so
they have
weird.
Their family,
But even
but
somebody
then they
who-
don't believe in God.
But
and then you're like,
exactly.
how's that work? But it's just in-group preference. Then, if you keep breeding with the same person, or not
Right.
the same person, but the same type of person, throughout your
Yeah,
whole
but what I'm saying is,
type of
is
people.
like Judaism is it's just that. It's just a religion. It's not a race at all.
Okay,
But
you
like-
tell them that.
I know. But that's all it is, right? Because there are all different ethnicities of
Right.
Judaism or practicing Judaism.
I mean, you
You
can.
can't practice being African American. You can't practice being black.
I
You can't
practice it.
practice being. Oh, now I'm. You can practice Hindu, right?
I
Hindu
guess-
is
I
not
think so,
a
yeah.
religion. I mean, Hindu is a religion. It's not a
Right.
race.
Yeah.
But yet, for some reason, Judaism is like it's a weird. And I'm not saying like all I'm saying is it's a weird like I don't want to say stereotype, but like a title to put on, because like you said,
It's very weird. I agree.
like you say, like if you constantly cross or whatever, you'll have, but like a Jewish
you
per-
create a people
right, but
by doing that.
but like that's my point. So like if a black person has a baby with a white person, that baby's half black, half white,
Sometimes.
whatever. Now if a Jewish person, a white Jewish person, has sex and has a baby with a white Jewish or a white non-Jewish person, their baby's half Jewish, but what if that Jewish person doesn't practice Judaism and they denounce it and they're like, I don't believe any of it. It's fucking nonsense. It's just a religion. I'm just a
Right.
white person. That baby's still half Jewish. It's fucking weird.
Well, because their DNA is specific,
But it's not.
but it is.
It's not.
You can
though.
take a DNA test and they can tell if you're Ashkenazi Jew.
I know. That's what's crazy. That's what I'm talking about.
So then it makes it's real.
But let's say, okay, Madonna.
It is a real thing.
She
Tranny.
transitioned into Judaism. I believe
Oh,
she
did
practiced Judaism.
Well, yeah, you can convert your belief system.
But okay, so then if she has a baby at her old age, is her baby fucking Jewish?
Technically.
But the lineage wouldn't be there. If you did a fucking DNA test, boom, no Judaism. It's
Right.
weird. But if you were black, it'd be in your DNA forever and ever.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't know why. That's one of my beefs with religion. It just takes over everything. Like even like it has to have its own race. We have to have our own race. It's fucking weird.
Well, it's because they mix their
They're
beliefs.
just people. That's my whole point. Is they're just people. Because I don't look at religion. I don't
But
look at it
this,
like
this is where you get confused because when that started with Judaism, they started with the Old Testament. Or there was shit before that, but
Mm-hmm.
they destroyed it. But those people made that belief system their thing.
Yeah, I know. That's my point. If let's say hypothetically, if religion was never thought of,
Well, it's not impossible.
I mean, at some point there just wasn't religion, so
We
it's
need-
possible.
Not really. There was always like even going back to BC, go all the way back to ancient Egypt. They still had a belief system with that qualifies as
But they weren't the first
religion.
They were just the first documented, maybe race of people that
it
had
all,
a religion.
It all goes back to then you get into fucking sun worship and shit like that. It's still like a religion. It's a way to explain the world through like traditional storytelling and morality and shit
So
like that.
Egyptian's a great example. How come Egyptian's not a religion?
No,
Egypt's a
Egyptian
place.
isn't. But they had, I don't know what the name for their belief system would be called. I don't know.
Yeah, but they're not. But my point is, if they take a DNA test, it doesn't come up as that. Only.
Well, you can
Judaism
come
is
up
the
as
only-
Egyptian.
Yeah, but that's not. But that's a country. That's not a religion.
No.
That's my point.
But that's why
isn't
they're
that
the
crazy,
lost.
though?
They're like the lost peoples.
But even like, what about Rome or like ancient Rome,
Yeah,
right? Romans. If you're from Rome,
Uh-huh.
you're Roman, right?
yeah.
That's not a religion.
No, but they had Catholicism.
Again, that doesn't show up on your DNA.
They had Roman Catholic.
Does that show up on your DNA?
No, but if
It's weird. It's
no,
just
but
weird.
it's just the blending of words. You're getting confused between people and words. They connected.
I know. Oh, I know. They connected
thing.
religion and DNA.
Right.
But why?
That's just what they did. It's a thing to keep
It's weird. It created.
word?
My point is, it created another race in the process. Did it not? Because if they were just
it was
white or some Jews were I guess you would call them
They are a specific type
Like,
of person. And
yeah.
but they connected that with the belief system, and it's to keep a culture I can't think of the word, going through time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
yeah. It's weird to me because it's the only
And there's
one.
there's a lot of ways that you can insulate your culture. Like, you can move to China.
Right.
You can have a baby born in China.
Right. And see,
but they're not Chinese.
to be
then.
honest, my ignorance.
You can't
on,
just be a Chinaman.
My ignorance on this topic is based off of where we live because America is only like fucking 300 years old.
Yeah.
Where you go to these other countries and other places and they've been around for fucking ever.
Yeah.
So their belief system and their
it's more
upbringing
ingrained.
and their understanding of how that has it's fascinating to me. Like as I get older, I learn about these things and like and it just really struck me like wow, like just if I wanted to find out my DNA, if I was an atheist and I didn't believe in which I am, but like let's say I did my DNA profile and it came up as I was Jewish, what would that matter to me? Would it matter?
I mean,
it doesn't.
It should and shouldn't,
right? It's weird
because
it's just white. That's all
I look
it is,
at
isn't it?
everything as interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting, very.
And it is important because it can help you understand yourself and your ways and,
and it can
how
help
you
with,
are,
with,
and then you can track your
yeah,
lineage.
Yeah, for sure.
And help you figure things out, like, oh, that's why I might do this or that.
But I just thought it was
like,
fascinating, like
I don't
looking
like
at
yeast.
DNA profiles,
You know what I mean?
that there is a religion that shows up on DNA profile, and if you are not a religious person, it's making a new race just strictly out of a religion. It's
but
just,
there
odd.
is a weird thing in America that everybody kind of, it's like the zeitgeist of Americanism, and they're just like, anybody can be American and shit like that. But then you're like, okay, well, if you move to China and you have a baby in China, your baby's not a Chinaman.
Right.
Like cultures and not necessarily countries. Like you could say whatever you want about a country and its borders.
And I
or
think you're
anything.
right. I think most countries, like if I were to go on vacation with April and she was pregnant and she had her baby in Germany, our baby's not fucking German.
No, it's still
it's an American baby. We just
Yeah.
had him in Germany.
right.
But if you come over here and have a baby on vacation, America could be dicks about it and be like, nope, that's our baby.
Yeah.
You know, it's our baby.
But still, then it's not an American.
Didn't they do that with that Elian Gonzalez kid because he was born on American soil?
I don't remember.
He had to
what they
stay
did
here
with
because
it.
his parents were deported, but because he was born on American soil, he was technically an American
Something
citizen.
weird happened. I don't remember.
Which is so American of us. Like, we're the land of the free. Why won't you come here and be free? And then you have a kid like, yeah, you can't have him. He's ours now.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. Thank you.
But it's the
Fucking
thing.
weird.
But it's the thing about it is kind of about DNA and your lineage and it's just who you are. And I think America really fucked it up for the world, kind of.
Yeah. Oh, no, we did. That's what we do. We fuck everything up. We help everybody out in wars, and we're sugar daddies to the world, and then we fuck everything up. I don't know why. I don't know who trusted
It made
us.
everybody forget their roots.
For sure. Oh, melting pot is a great, and as much as I think it is a great idea, you are absolutely right. It made us, not only made us forget about it, it made us not give a fuck a little bit.
Right.
It really did.
And
It
then
made a lot of
everybody
people.
gets confused, and then they're mad at everybody else. Like, oh, you stole our history. Like, no, like,
Yeah.
your people kind of just forgot about it. Like, not even, I'm not saying yours, whoever the fuck they are, even ours.
Yeah. History is always being written. Like, that's the one thing I hate. Like, when like the statue thing. People are like, oh, you're rewriting our hit. Well, yeah, history's always rewritten. We're allowed to be wrong and learn. Like, I don't understand where we lost that in this country. Where we lost, like, the insight of, we lost insight. We really did. We lost the ability to learn from our mistakes and correct them. We just stand firm in what we believe in on the silliest things, like the Confederate flag thing. Like, it was just
There's
such
a lot of shit to that.
It was. There isn't.
There is.
It's a war that happened so long ago, and it's just a stupid flag.
I'll send you
for a
some things.
You can send me anything
I'm gonna
you
send
want.
you some things.
It's nonsense. It was a war that was lost. The Confederation was around for 8 years. 8 years.
I'm going to send you some things.
Cool. They were around for 8 years. You can send me all you want because,
Yeah.
again, this trap of people finding information, I could type up a whole fake article about the Confederacy and make it look real fucking fancy, and people will start sharing around like, yo, you got to read this shit.
No, I'm not talking about that.
I
I'm
just
saying I have some, like, deep historical deep
Yeah.
dives.
It's nonsense. It's all nonsense.
And,
it's stupid. We as a country, again, we hang on to the dumbest shit. We really do. You know what? If there's a statue
no,
that's
but it's
been
still a
up,
part of history.
and it's always going to be there.
Yeah.
History's always. That's my point. So
The
if,
thing is, like, you can't
So if an overwhelming amount of people don't want a statue up of somebody who, when the statue was built, we weren't really too sure on their history, and now we find out they were pretty fucked up. We want to replace it with somebody else. Again,
You can't. The thing is, you can't judge.
it's a statue.
You can't judge the past with the morals of today.
Yeah, you can. That's how you.
can't.
That's how you learn. That's how you learn and grow.
No, it's not.
Absolutely. So you think the past day is what? So the past what it was? Fuck it.
No, you take it. You have to look at history from the morality of the time.
Right.
You can't. If whatever you want to say, you can. We were talking about child sacrifice earlier. The Native Americans did child sacrifice.
Right. And we changed that. That was the morality of the time.
If that was a thing, you don't look back at that and like shame them for it. That's just what was happening in the time.
No, I'm not saying shame the people now for what they did then.
Well, that's what they're doing now.
No. So you think by taking down like a racist person's, like a statue of a racist person.
You're already moralizing it.
How?
Racism is a nonsense word.
It's not a nonsense word.
It is a nonsense
It's
word.
not.
It is.
It's not.
It is.
How is it a nonsense word?
It doesn't mean anything.
It does.
Nobody ever hated people based on the color of their skin.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Never happened.
All right. There's not even an argument for that.
There is.
There are people that say I hate you because you're black. What does that even mean?
There's like 3 guys who do that.
3 guys, really.
Yeah.
The Ku Klux Klan was made on the sole purpose of going against the Negro.
It wasn't.
It absolutely was.
At a time, there was some of that.
No, that's what it was. What other reason would it be made for?
I can't tell you right now.
You can't?
No.
No?
No.
It was started by a man in the South who did not want the...
Who's that man?
I don't know his name.
Okay.
You can find that out. That's easy information. That's super easy information. But the Ku Klux Klan was started by a single person
I mean, most things are started by a person.
based off of hatred on the color of somebody's skin. So you're sitting here saying there's the racism.
No,
is
I don't know the whole
nonsense.
history. But what I'm telling you is it's more complicated than you're making it.
Okay, so use Judaism. That's not a race? The hatred of the Jews by
It's
Hitler?
not a race. What?
You're saying that's not a race. Judaism. It's a religion. We were just having a whole talk about the lineage and DNA and this.
Even
and that.
that's more complicated than we're told.
I don't know how complicated saying because you're a certain person you need to die. That's pretty straightforward.
He never said that.
He never said that.
Mm-mm.
Dude. The fuck, bro?
You show me where he said it.
Bro. So because he didn't say the specific words, Jews need to die. You don't think so because he didn't say it in public.
No, they called it what they used to call it was the will of the Führer.
Whatever.
Something like that.
So
Because
that's where we're
they
at. So
kinda-
because he worded it that way, well, because he said it's the word of the Führer, it's not exactly racist.
No, the will.
The will of the Führer. It's not exactly racist.
No, it was like an assumed thing. It was weird.
It's
There's
not
a lot
assumed.
Of weird things.
There was
No,
like
I'm
a lot
telling
of
you
dead people
what-
that were. There's like a lot of dead people. Like people
No, I'm
were
telling
killed.
you what happened.
It wasn't assuming Sunday is coming after Saturday is one thing, but assuming that I think he meant he wanted us to kill a lot of Jews. I don't know. I think that's what he meant. It's a really bad argument.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of stuff that you
horrible
that
argument.
you don't know.
I don't know, man. There's nothing that I could learn that would make me say, oh, I think I might have been wrong about that. It's just not possible.
Well, I'll send you some things.
You can send me anything you want. You can send me anything you want. You can send me anything you want. I think that whatever you're about to send or read is part of the problem.
It's
You're-
not.
Because so you're making the argument that we shouldn't try to not change our past, or I'm not even sure what.
Well, you can't change the past.
You can't, but you can learn from it and move forward from it.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So when
I'm saying you don't destroy the past. You don't forget it.
destroying it isn't forgetting it. It's just moving on from it. Much like
No,
when they
you should not destroy
when
it.
they built buildings with huge swastikas on them. They tore those down at one point.
They didn't build buildings with swastikas on them.
Absolutely. They sure did. They built. You mean to tell me during that
They had
war, 7 or 8
flags.
years, they didn't just put flags up. They built a lot of things. A lot of, half the fucking death camps they built were built by prisoners.
You don't think they put swastikas on the stuff they built? And they tore those down, right? They're not all still standing, am I right? So you're
Somebody
saying,
tore them down.
but so they should have stayed up. They should have just kept them up.
Could have kept them up.
You could have, but we should have. We should never tear anything down.
No, I'm not saying you should never ever tear nothing down. Some things get torn down sometimes.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is you probably shouldn't tear down history.
You're not tearing it down. You're just changing it. So what happens if a storm happens and the fucking statue falls over? That's cool. We'll just get another statue, but we can't remove it because it's offensive. Like,
No, I'm saying
and I know your argument, because the argument, and I totally get it. Some things are stupidly offensive. I agree with that. But there are, and I mean, come on, dude. There are statues in the South of slave owners. Like, that's their claim to fame. Just take it
it's not their
down.
claim to fame, I don't think.
That's what they did. What else?
There's statues of guys who may have okay. At like peak slave owning days in America, like 3% of the population had owned slaves.
But they're the ones that we praise. Like even guys
Who's
like
praising them? I don't know who's
George
praising them.
Washington,
He
Lincoln.
was a president. That wasn't his claim to fame. Wasn't
I'm not saying it was his claim to fame.
He was a president.
But okay, so we used to celebrate how great of a person he was, right? And he did a lot of good things.
He was a president.
But he was also a fucking. I mean, so would you
Don't tear
say?
down a president thing.
I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying him. I'm just using it as an
there was,
example.
If there was a statue of a guy who you say his claim to fame was slave owning,
Yeah.
and it was like, yo, this was the greatest slave owner, like, and he did nothing else.
A
You're just like,
plantation
yo,
or
this
landowner.
is the baddest slave owner.
Dude, that's.
if there was a
that's what
statue
they'll
of
do.
that guy,
Okay.
I would go put it in a museum or something. If it's a president,
So
his
this is-
claim to fame is not slave
No,
owning.
I'm not saying that's not what I'm saying. I'm just using George Washington as an example. 50, 20, even 20 years ago, we were ignorant to the way he acted, right? And that's true. We're ignorant to the way that people acted in the past because, oh, that's just the way it was, right?
I mean, that's the
So-
narrative of all history.
Right. So why celebrate?
You can only know what you know in the time.
I know. That's my point. But
There's going to be stuff that we say now that in 100 years people will look back on us and be like, oh, they were dumbasses.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that doesn't mean.
And if
that,
they build a statue of me for it and they want to take it down, I'm not going to be upset about it.
I mean, I don't think we should be worshiping idols like that in the first place. So
We
that's
should
the
have
whole.
any fucking statues. I
But
totally
I'm
agree.
fine with. I don't really give a fuck about statues like that. But that doesn't mean I want to tear them down. I still like statues.
Me too,
But
but they're-
but the people who want to tear them down are the ones who saying that we're praising them.
That I agree with. The people that want to take them down want to take them down for the wrong reasons.
Most people aren't praising the statue.
like a Thomas Jefferson thing. Like he gets a lot of
Like
of
we've
flack,
built statues.
you know. But he gets a lot of flack for like his past, and like the more as time goes on, not only was he a slave owner,
You
but
can
he
tear down
raped a
Martin
lot
Luther
of his
King
people.
statues. Then there's FBI documents that
I know.
say he's a rapist.
I know.
So you
I
gonna
know.
tear down Martin Luther King?
I mean, it's I get it. I know.
You could do that with any great man or woman or fucking whatever the fuck you
I
want
know.
to be has most likely had fucked up shit in
I
their
know.
in their
I know. So why do we
story.
praise these idols, and why do we? That's my the
Because
where
we try to praise people for the good they have done.
where I'm going with that, like you were saying, just get rid of statues altogether. It just makes they're cool as
I
fuck.
like statues.
I know, but like you say, people they're just getting to a point where it's like anything we put on anybody, anytime anything's displayed, it's just gonna constantly get fucking ridiculed. I read an article
why you
about
gotta
the
tell those
statue in the
people-
middle of Allentown.
That's
about
why you gotta
they're
tell
saying
those
the guys-
people-
They're saying the guys on the horses; those should be pulled down because I guess the people's checkered past. It's fucking stupid.
They've graffitied up the first
know,
the black soldiers who fought for the Union against the
know.
Confederacy. They graffitied that up.
It's weird. It's a
Like,
weird fucking
You
thing.
just gotta
Like
tell the people who don't like that type of shit to shut the fuck up.
we look into the like.
You just
we
gotta
look,
go, shut up.
We look too deep into it.
Not me. I look no, I lie.
I know. That's why
I look entirely. I deep dive
Yeah.
all the way.
I know. So when you're like, I don't dive at all. Oh wait, the literal opposite. I'm all the way in.
Yes.
I know. Yeah.
super deep, like because I actually want to understand shit.
Yeah.
So I hear what people say, their complaints about whatever the fuck the narrative is, and then I go, oh, okay, what's the opposite side of that? And then I'll take your side, I'll take this side, and I'll go, okay, well, what makes sense putting those together to me?
Fucking common ground. Common ground.
It's not just common ground because I look at history through the lens of like it's written by the winners, number one.
Absolutely.
Number
bro.
two, the winners probably stretch the truth a little bit.
Yeah.
And tandem that with, say you were trying to get a story from your friend about what they did yesterday.
Right.
If they go, oh, I just chilled at the house. Is that what they did?
No, you probably masturbated. You probably.
That's not
I know.
like you can't even get an accurate story of
I know.
what your friend did yesterday.
Yeah.
So what's the real story
Yeah.
of history?
Yeah.
So you just kind of have to sift through what the narratives are and say, okay, I know my friend just didn't chill yesterday.
Yeah.
He probably woke up. He probably washed his ass. He probably went and ate some breakfast. He probably did some other shit.
Yep.
That's the story of yesterday for him.
Yeah.
So what's not being told about 100 years ago?
Yeah. I know. And we're finding that out as we go on.
Yeah.
You know.
But you have
And
to
my
use
whole-
your own brain
Yeah.
to
And really, like, my whole point with like history is that we have to stop looking back to it and trying to change it because we can't. That's why I was actually like, you can change history, and you're like, nah, that's not what I meant. That's what I was trying to say. Like, we can't go back and change history. All we can do is learn from it.
Right.
So tearing down the statue of George Washington ain't going to change anything.
No.
All we can look at is where we've gotten to now and where we can go forward and what we can do better.
People always want to try to go forward. Where are you going?
That's all we
That's
do is go forward.
forward.
Every day we go forward.
People don't
That's all we
know
do.
where forward is.
I mean, forward's not. We're not staying. We can't stay where we're at.
No, but because of the passing of time, people always think forward is like this utopia type thing where everybody is just like an automaton of love.
You know, honestly,
You know what I
bro,
mean?
You know what moving forward's about. It's about race and religion. That's what everything's about in this country. Moving forward past the problems this country has right now with our
move-
views on race and religion.
You can't move past any of that.
No, not
because
move past. Move forward. I'm not saying move past. Move forward.
That's the same thing.
It's not.
They're trying to get past it.
Yeah.
It's not forward
Yeah.
because you can't ever escape race because it's a real thing, and you can't ever escape religion because belief is also a real thing.
Yeah.
You can't. People are always going to have a race. People are always going to have beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
You can't escape it.
I know. And we try to not accept people for it, or we try to.
Well, you
push
don't
what they-
have to
push it.
accept people.
We
for
don't.
it.
We don't.
That's.
We don't have to accept what they believe.
I had this argument with somebody on Facebook. I don't know, a week or two ago,
Mm-hmm.
and you know they have a problem. They think racists are everywhere and everything. And I'm like, well, it's legal to be racist. You are allowed to be racist. If you would like to not like somebody because of the color of their skin, you're free to do that. He's like, why? I'm like, because you kind of have to allow that.
You are, but it's just a dick move.
Yeah, you're allowed to be a dick.
Yeah, you are.
Now, are you allowed to go kill that person because, or harm them physically?
No.
You're not allowed to do that.
No.
But if you just want to be like, I don't like him because whatever fuck reason, you can do that.
Right.
It's fine.
But that's not the issue.
But
in
just
this
don't
country.
touch them.
Yeah, the issue in this country is segregation. It's treating people different because of their skin.
Well,
and
we're
because of their
we're more segregated now than when segregation was a law.
I know, isn't that fucking weird? It's crazy.
It's a natural thing.
It's not. I think it was. I think at one point because it's not really. I mean, does it have to be?
It doesn't have to be, but you can't force it. You can't force integration. You can't force segregation.
I know.
You can't force any of those things.
You can force.
I mean, you
force.
can.
You can force segregation for sure.
You
You can't
can.
force non-segregation. That's the difference. You can definitely force segregation.
You can do either of these
Yeah.
things, but you
And I think that's the
You
feeling a lot of
shouldn't.
people get is that that's what's going on. There's a lot of forced segregation and not enough non-forced segregation, I guess, maybe.
Well, it's not forced now.
Not all of it, but there's
This is all voluntary. That's what white flight's about. That's what when what's it called? What do they call it? When white people come back and try to buy stuff up.
I don't know. Indian giving?
No.
Racist. Just kidding.
Called fucking I can't think of the word.
A dead silence.
But when there's a black neighborhood
Yeah.
and white people move in and buy shit up, they call it a thing. I can't think of
Yeah,
the word.
yeah.
I'm retarded. But then they get mad about that.
Mm-hmm.
So when you come in, it's a problem. When everyone leaves, it's a problem. And then when black people start moving into white neighborhoods, it's a problem. And then when white people start moving into black neighborhoods, it's a problem. There's just problems. Everybody has problems with all of it all the time. And some people have in-group preference. Some people have out-group preference.
Yeah.
Some people don't have a preference.
Yeah. And I think that's like, I think that's kind of
And you
where
can't
like most
force
you
any
can't.
of those
You
things
can't. You can't.
on anybody else. So you
Yeah.
just have to kind of let it go
Yeah.
and try to teach people to love.
Yeah, and not be dicks. There's too much fucking hate. Hate just ages you, and it's more work to hate and be angry and to hold a grudge than to just let it go and just focus on living and loving.